Please join me in welcoming to the stage finalist number 4, Linda Behrens McCauley and Andrew Behrens McCauley.
Now, similar to most of you here tonight, we entered the fitness industry because we were passionate about helping people. But it took us a lot longer to realise we also had to have a successful business. We all have journeys. We all have lots of stories to tell, especially from the fitness industry. So thank you so much for listening to ours tonight. November last year, Andrew and I were married. Actually, this weekend is our first wedding anniversary. And all I can say is, what a fantastic way to actually celebrate our first wedding anniversary. And this is the first time I've actually stood on stage with my husband. Aww. Isn't he lovely?
We have 4 boys, aged 4 to 15. We've got Gabriel 4, Xander 6, Elijah 8, and Davo 15. And they all have their own very busy school and social lives, so we run around town a lot after boys. We love the outdoors, we really do, and we love mountain bike racing. We frequently go away racing, whether it's just a short 3-hour in southeast Queensland or a multi-day epic in the Victorian Alps. One of the favourite photos in this one is the bottom left photo. Davo, our eldest. Whenever we go away racing with Mel, she always seems to pick races that are freaking freezing cold. So Davo's trying to keep warm. So as newlyweds, we knew we needed to set some joint goals for 2012. So we spent our New Year's celebration here in Melbourne at a goal-setting workshop. And what we came up with was we wanted to finish our first house renovation and get started on our second one. We wanted to make sure that Mel was training at least 20 hours a week on the mountain bike, getting ready for the World's 24-Hour Solo Championships in Canada. And we wanted to spend more time together and with our boys. We didn't want to be working so much and we didn't want to be training so much. So really, at the heart of everything, we knew we had to build our business into a sustainable, self-sufficient business so we could achieve everything else.
But that's where we had a massive problem. You see, I was actually working in excess of 60 hours in the business. Andrew here has a full-time job. He was working before work, after work, and lunchtime actually in the business. Andrew has even taken days off work to work in the gym because I was too unwell to go to work. So that meant there was no way did we have time for me to train. We didn't have time to do our house renovations to finish those. The boys were spending too much time in daycare. There was no way we could have a holiday. And in fact, we've actually never had a holiday together. Our staff, we knew we needed more of them. But purely and simply, we couldn't afford to pay their wages. So we actually had been disappointed in the past as well with underperforming staff. Systems in the business, we had some. They just didn't work. Lots of loose ends, I don't know. I'm sure you've all been there. So I was actually doing the marketing systems totally from scratch. I loved it. Problem was it took me too long. And so most of the marketing didn't actually get out. For me, cash flow and finances, headaches and stress, constantly worrying about how to make ends meet. In 2008, a new business opened across the road, another gym. 18 months later, another one opened. So here we are in a small regional area of Maryborough, 3 gyms in one block competing against each other. Is it any wonder that our members started losing us to go to the newer and the cheaper gyms? So we started boot camps. We started weight loss programs. We went to a 24-hour facility. We were the first and actually still the only 24-hour fitness centre in the town. We started up a contract with a local correctional centre so that we could do group exercise sessions for the inmates. Now you'd think that was enough. We were working harder than ever. Believe me, we were. Problem was that our profit margins were smaller than ever. And so as much as we loved our business, we were actually seeking a purchaser to buy the business before we had to close the doors. Things were pretty grim. So I bought the business in 2005. Lots of passion? Absolutely no advice. After 7 years of frustration, I decided it didn't matter what I did. It didn't matter how hard I worked. It didn't matter what niche I tried. It didn't matter what campaign I rolled out. It didn't matter what business coach we used. It didn't even matter how many gym members we had. At the end of the day, we just couldn't break free to live the life that Andrew and I had actually envisioned.
So one of Mel's favourite sayings is it's always too soon to quit. So we gathered our last shred of energy and we threw everything we had at FFP February this year. We immediately began implementing auto closer, deep core, duplicator, controller. We completely tore the business apart and we installed and refined processes for absolutely everything. We researched and found professionals to help us. Professionals like Jill the bookkeeping lady, an absolute MyOb whiz, and a new accountant. And we began marketing consistently with the easy to roll out FFP campaigns. Campaigns like Icing the Cake, Body and Beauty Makeover, Corporate Body Balance, 30-30, New Movers, Bring a Friend, Buy Up, and the list goes on. And like all of you, I'm sick of writing Dear Neighbour on letters. We began using Rainmaker, send out a bi-monthly newsletter, and to host our marketing landing pages, and to manage our campaign emails. We began using Facebook and paid Facebook ads, which have been fantastic. And we expanded our use of websites, and we've done a lot of public speaking gigs. We formed strategic alliances with a physio, an exercise physiologist, hairdressers, tattooists, beauticians, lots of real estate agents, sports stores, gift store, massage therapists, and a fitness training college. The results we began to see big results immediately. Rick's expert guidance with our early ensured our return on investment on our early campaigns brought in sufficient improvement in cash flow that we could actually fuel further development and implementation of the FFP business systems, as well as client-generating campaigns. By May, we had completely reordered the business and overhauled all our systems. And by July, Duplicator was bringing in quality new staff who we can now afford to pay, who are now servicing our new clients brought in by the systemised marketing. And more importantly, the campaigns were bringing in steady, consistent numbers of new leads who are willing to pay for our services. To give you an idea of how we've grown, in the 10 months, we've gone from myself and Mel and a trainer, to now we have 4 trainers plus a lead trainer. We've got a dedicated admin assistant and we've got a cleaner. No more cleaning toilets, I love it. And now we have 4 trainers. Oh, very sad note, sorry. So, you know, both our roles now are very much focused on working on the business rather so much in the business. We've had a 33% increase in our memberships, and that's been simply due to the fact that for the first time in 4 years, we've actually had growth in our membership base, and that's been due to all the FFP campaigns we've been steadily rolling out. We don't offer cheap, budget, discounted memberships. We're after clients who actually value our services. And that's added about 80 grand additional income to our bottom line, so it's been really good. Our boot camps are an asset to our business, and under FFP guidance, they've grown since February this year to add about $45,000 additional to our bottom line. And we've gone from 3 boot camps a week of 24 participants, and now we're running 5 boot camps a week of 41 regular participants. So they've gotten quite big. Similar story for our personal training services. So in February, we were running 64 PT sessions, and now we've gone to 104 PT sessions. So we've almost doubled the number of sessions delivered, but most importantly, our net profit on those has increased by 320%. And that's due to a few different campaigns, but most especially Raising the Rates campaign. Evidence of our newfound professionalism emerged when corporate businesses began requesting off-site services. So now we are delivering weight loss programs and in-office boot camps to a variety of clients. Blank moment. Keep going. Yep. So this has essentially added an additional $35,000 to our bottom line. With the improved cash flow coming into the business because of the FFP business systems and our systemised marketing, we've actually been able to fund some facility renovations this year, and we just completed replacing some 300 square metres of flooring and we've bought a whole bunch of new commercial grade treadmills, a very nice power cage, some dumbbells, racks, and a torsionator, which we haven't actually played with yet, but I'm looking forward to that. Last year we were struggling to fund purchasing parts just to keep our old treadmills running. So far the business has far exceeded expectations and we now have a sustainable business asset. Our goals for 2013 are nothing like we ever thought possible. We're going to aggressively pursue regional expansion with personal training and boot camps into Hervey Bay. From our experience with our Exercise Physiologist Alliance, we're going to employ an EP to deliver services which complement our personal training activities in both cities. And our lease is due for renewal in 2015 and we plan to relocate to new, larger premises.
So if we have a look at our revenue for next year, what we're forecasting is with our additional expansion and growth into Hervey Bay, included with our consistent growth in Maryborough, we forecast our revenue to be in excess of $500,000 next year. Now I know for a lot of you that actually isn't that exciting, but let me tell you about us. We come from an area in Queensland, we are not proud to have the highest unemployment in the state and the lowest average household income in the state. If we can achieve this in this area, we believe we can replicate it anywhere in Australia. So what does this mean to us? Andrew no longer works in the business. Since July, I have dedicated training time so that I could actually race in the World Championships in Canada in September and October this year. That was why we went on holidays. We had 5 weeks overseas. We took my 15-year-old son and had a fantastic time with him. Unfortunately for me, the race was cancelled at short notice. Heartbreaking for all of us athletes who had trained for such a long time to get to that level and then have it pulled out from underneath us. But do you know what? Gave us a great opportunity to see how our business was working. 5 weeks without us. So our staff, when we returned, didn't need us. We had a body balance campaign, participants paid, ready to roll out. A corporate body balance campaign, participants paid, ready to roll out. We had more boot campers than ever. We had new personal training clients, the largest gym member base that we've ever had. I need another holiday. The gym works better without me. But there's something I'm not telling you. You see, about 10 years ago, I was in a doctor's office. I was a single mum, and that doctor said to me, "Melinda, you need to quit your job. You need to move to a city like Brisbane. You need to learn to read Braille. You need to prepare your life for a blind person." I had been diagnosed with a debilitating disease called muscular dystrophy, No one can tell the rate of progression, but they can all tell me what's going to happen. Do you know that doctor? He gave me the best piece of advice and the worst piece of advice. Luckily for me, like Andrew said before, I always say, it's always too soon to quit. I refuse to quit. He also said, prepare. So guess what? I positioned myself to purchase a business in an industry I was passionate about, so that no matter what happened to my health, to my degeneration, I could give back to the community. I could earn an income and not a disability handout. So thank you to Rick and Andre and all the Fit for Profit team. You have not only rescued my business, but you've given me back my future. I have a business which is sustainable. No matter what happens to my health, I have an income. Thank you.
You can keep up with NPE TV through Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube so that you can stay connected wherever your travels may take you.